All of this is very new to me. I am kind of nervous out of all the years I've been recording YouTube videos because this is something different. This is something out of my comfort zone. And lately, this past couple of weeks, it's just been getting out of my comfort zone. That's been the theme. God's just continuing to mold me by allowing me to experience life differently. I've been doing the same thing, quote unquote, for a while now, same type of videos in the same, neighborhood. And now that I've moved out and now I'm here in a different, town, a lot of things are new. And while I was moving out, getting engaged, going to a new church or new campus, on top of that, God was saying to change up the videos. Same messages, I'm still going to continue to preach the word. But while preaching the word, I'm going to be cooking. One of my passions, or one of the things I want to get good at and learn the skills that I need, is to quote unquote be a chef. There's a lot of things I like: competition cooking shows. I like how to just eat. I love to eat. I love to eat good food. And I just want to say I'm sorry for if I fumble my words. I know that you guys support me in this new venture. If you guys stick with me, we're gonna experience something good together. We're gonna be probably the pioneer of Christian cooking, but you guys are gonna be along the journey. I hope you guys enjoy. Today we're making tacos, some chicken tacos, and we're also gonna be talking about how to let God control, how to let God take control. So if you see me, going from my laptop to see my notes and to get into the food at the same time, just bear with me. And yeah, let's do it. So first I'm going to this stove. Since I'm new to it, I'm gonna get it a little bit between 2 and 4, not like really 3, more like 2 and 3/4. And yeah, I'm gonna start seasoning my chicken. Definitely clean your chicken before you cook it. Um, but yeah, I learned from Gordon himself the best way to season some chicken or guarantee some flavor is to poke holes into it with a fork, and allows the flavors to go in. So I'm just gonna poke some holes, just not too much. On the other side, I'm using chicken thighs today. And while I'm doing this, I do want to talk about how to let God take control. And why would you want God to take control of your life? You seem like, hey, I'm doing things pretty good. I have a good paying job. I'm doing this well. I have this. I have this. And the only reason why I believe that God is leading me to preach this message is because of pride. I feel like we, as believers, think that we have it all together and that we don't need God. And that's far from the truth. So we're going to kind of be convicted by the Holy Spirit of the mistakes that we're making without even realizing it. And I believe if we allow God to take control, we will start to feel peace. We will start to feel His guidance, and we will then experience the abundant life that He promised us in John 10:10, when He said, "The thief came to steal, kill, and destroy, but I came to give life more abundant." So if we really allow God and His will to be done in our lives, we can really feel that like everything's going to be okay. I'm going to salt very little just to get some flavor. Shout out to my fiance for getting me this amazing bamboo salt container. Very fancy. We're gonna flip these guys. I really don't like making mess, and right now, because I'm quote unquote new to this, I'm making a mess. I have to find a rhythm. But a little salt. hmm Also like to keep my hands clean at all times because just like I said, don't like mess, like to be clean. This is one of by far one of my favorite seasonings. It's Caribbean Rhythms meat seasoning, and I absolutely love it. I'm gonna just give a little love right here. And one of the secrets to cooking by my famous chef, my mom, she says you have to cook with love. And lately I've been feeling that love with my fiance. She has been cooking for me for these past couple of days. And that love I tasted in the food, and I want her to taste this love that I'm about to give her with these tacos. But yeah, this seasoning is fire. So good. So good. Then I'm gonna do a little bit of heat with this chile and lime seasoning. I'm just gonna do a little bit. Just a little bit. Make sure to coat each side. Both sides need love. Let me take that fork. I'm gonna flip it. I like cooking with chicken thighs because they just seem to be more juicier. Breasts are really, you have to be like a total professional to cook breasts because it's easy to overcook and it can get dry. Thighs are more forgiving. So there we go. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on the pan. This thing gets hot quickly. Let me put that back. Well, make sure that oil goes all over the place. Kind of do that. Now it's all over the place. I'm gonna take these tongs. We have a wooden theme in our kitchen. And we're just going to, that noise is just amazing. I was gonna cover it if it was splattering all over the place, but it's not. While that is happening, I'm going to tell you about the first slide of today of how to let God take control. So, when you want to let God take control of your life, you have to always start with prayer and admit that you have been taking things or matters into your own hands. You have to be vulnerable. You have to be humble enough to go to the King of Kings and Lord of Lords in prayer and say, God, I've been doing things by myself. I haven't let you in. I haven't sought you in prayer. I haven't asked you first. I think that, the wisdom that I have has been getting me this far, and it won't fail me now. And then look at where I'm at now. I'm failing. There's a lot of areas in my life where I'm not being abundant. I'm not feeling the peace. I'm not feeling the joy. I'm not feeling you. And it's because I haven't been seeking you in prayer and asking you how to do things. So the first point I have is admit to God you have been prideful in the way you take matters into your own hands. The second thing I have to say is when you pray, say this: God, I need you to take control of my life. I let it go into your hands. I love when I go into prayer for my church, I always say, God, we're going to leave it into your hands, because in your hands, you can make a blessing. In your hands, you can do a miracle. He breathed life into dust and made us. He breathed life into bones and made armies. So, of course, when we say, God, take my life, take control, may your will be done, in his hands, he can make a miracle out of it. The third thing I have to say is every day ask for his will to be done. Every single day when you wake up, say, Lord, may your will be done in me today. You're probably not going to like some of the things that's going to go on the day, but that is actually going to mold you. That's actually going to teach you and to allow you to become the version of that God created. Those trials and tribulations actually, like God said, works all things for the good. And those things are actually part of your story, part of your journey, part of your testimony. It's going to suck. And you're going to be like, God, I prayed for your will to be done today, but I got a flat tire. I prayed for your will to be done today, but I failed my test. I prayed for your will to be done today, and I got hurt. All right, I got this diagnosis. I got this. And he's just saying, trust me. In Proverbs 16:9, it says, we can make our plans, but the Lord determines our steps. He makes sure that we know we're going according to his will if we ask him. While this is cooking, I'm gonna bring up the heat a little bit. It looks like it's too low. I want to get that nice brown. I'm going to cut up some onions and tomatoes. I'm gonna put this here. Onions seem to multiply, so I'm not gonna cut too much. Take this out. And today I'm using for the first time ever my nakiri, I think that's how you call it, knife. Japanese nakiri knife is a vegetable knife. Since I'm getting into cooking and wanting to learn, I need some good tools. And this knife, good reviews, see a lot of chefs use it. And today's the first day of my knife being used. I'm going to throw this away. So not too much onions. My knife skills need some work, but just like my knife skills, we all need some work. Am I right? Going to Leave that there. If you're looking at my knife skills and want to cry, I'll cry with you. Sounds like the Chuck E. Cheese token machine. That. All right, that is done. Put this over here. We all have that drawer where this is clutter drawer, and this is it. Going to put that there. Then I cut a tomato. We're gonna do that. But yeah, guys, just been really nervous. And I hate to use that word, but it's the truth. Really nervous about this whole thing. God calling me out to do different videos. The signs have been there. I did a show earlier. Last year, the Fiery Furnace show. You can see it on my YouTube channel, and you just can tell that people were really interested in the food aspect of things. But then I drifted away because one, it just took a lot of time, and two, I wanted to preach, and so the Lord, through my friends and through my passion of both things, was like, why not do both? And I had every excuse in the book, to push it off. And I know we all have been there, and we just want to push things off because we're scared. But the Lord, He gives us a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind, not fear. And hopefully, this is probably an answered prayer for someone. They're scared to do something that the Lord's calling them to do, and they're like, Berto, he did it scared. He didn't know what he was doing, but he heard God call him to do some cooking and some Jesus, and he just did it. Yeah, it was wonky. Yeah, his knife skills are terrible, but he went out there and he did what the Lord told him to do. And it's all about, I've been hearing this lately, not answering the calls, actually disobedience. And if the Lord's calling you to something, even if it's scary, and you say no, you're disobeying the Lord. And we say no for a lot of reasons because we're scared. And I get it. I'm scared now. I'm nervous now. I don't know what exactly am I doing. I don't technically know how to cook the best. I, I don't know how to mix food and Jesus together at the moment, but I know that I can trust the Lord. And I know that He doesn't call me out to something if He's not going to see me through it. So He might be calling you out to something and you're scared, but just have faith that He's going to see you through it. And I don't want to burn. Yes, brown food tastes good, but I don't want to burn it. Let's see how it looks on the bottom. It still needs some browning. So I'm gonna crank up the heat a little bit slowly. We're on medium now. I'm gonna put my veggies away. I could just hear it. That's gonna kind of burn. So I'm gonna drop it a little bit above 4. These are little skills that you would pick up. Um, the second part. So the first part was pray about, asking God, hey, like I'm admitting to you that I need your help. I'm admitting to you that I've been prideful and I'm not the way that I'm taking control of my life. It's obviously going downhill. I need you. The second part is to be still. I kind of hear this thing taking off, so I'm gonna drop it down while I talk. Let me double check. We're getting there. Be still. If you do nothing, you will see the working hand of God. I'm gonna say that slower. If you do nothing, you will see the working hand of God. If you want to allow God to take control of your life, you're going to have to let go of the reins. You're going to have to let go of the wheel, quote unquote, cliche. You need to take your hands off and allow God's hands to go on. And the best way I know how to do that is actually do nothing. It might actually hurt your pride. It might actually make you want to go crazy because you've been overthinking. You've been feeling anxiety like, I need to do this, I need to do that. And part of I'm growing on YouTube channel. I thank every single one of you guys who are watching my videos and subscribing and liking. And I've been seeing the climb, and I want to keep going. But this, moving weeks, I haven't been able to, make videos. So I've been like kind of like anxious in a way, and I don't want to use that word because I know there's bad spirits on that. But that's how I felt because I was like, I'm just gonna go downhill. That's far from the truth. Me letting go is actually saying, God, you spoke a word over me. You know that I'm supposed to be on YouTube. No matter if I post once a week, every month, or once a year, that time is going to pass where people are going to start seeing your word. It's going to see you through this channel, no matter when I post or not. And so it allowed me to have that peace. It allowed me to say, I trust you, Lord. And the way that you can say, I trust you, Lord, the way you say, I let you control my life, Lord, I let go of the reins, is by doing nothing and saying, God, you got it. The second point is the more your hands are in it, the less God's hands are in it. You actually doing stuff is actually saying, God, I got this. Maybe step back and say, God, I don't got this. And allow his hands in it. Let me check this chicken real quick. Smells delish. We're not getting the color. The best advice for cooking is heat control, making sure that you kind of smell, you kind of look that the thing is the chicken or the meat or the food is cooking right. Sometimes you can't just put it on 2. You can't just put it on medium. You can't put it on high because you need to control it. You need to make sure it's like a tug and war game, and it's all about actually caring about the food that you're making. This thing is splattering all over the place, and I don't want to get over the kitchen. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to let it, where's the, I'm gonna let it do that. In Psalms 48, verse 10, it says, "Be still and know that I am God. I will be honored by every nation. I will be honored throughout the world. Be still and know that I'm God." It's actually a wonder. It's actually a miracle when you let go and just watch God move. You will be awestruck. You will be amazed at how powerful and strong He is if you just watch Him do it. Sit back and watch Him work. Be still. I can tell just from my own life that the more control that I started to get, the more I felt things were not in my control. It was very obvious. And those were the moments, these are indicators where I'm all over the place in my thoughts. I'm all over the place and actually messing up areas in my life like work, relationships, and fitness. Things that are going wrong should be an indicator that I need to step back. Things that are going wrong or I'm not feeling the way I'm supposed to be. I know what it means to be in, I know what it feels to be in peace. I know what it feels to be in God's will. These things that are happening are actually indicators to say I need to be still. When you feel that those emotions, when you feel like God is not there, it's because you're trying to be there. If you really want to feel God's presence and His peace, do nothing. Be still and know that He is God. Let's check this out. Ooh, smells good. I'm dropping it to 2, splattering all over the place, and I don't like that. It's still not brown. Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. Bring it up to the side a little bit. We're getting there. The third thing, get God's permission. If you really want to let God do His thing, if you really want God to take control of your life, and you really want to say, God, may your will be done, you have to go to Him and ask for permission for certain things, or hopefully all the things. Do you ask God for permission or ask God for help? You probably got yourself in a mess. You probably feel like, God, I need your help. And all He was trying to say is, why didn't you come to me first? And I know that might hit you a couple spots in the heart, but it's the truth. And I'm here to preach the truth. You didn't go to God first. So now you're trying to ask for help. He's like, why didn't you come to me a couple months ago? When you didn't know, when you were confused, but you wanted to take matter in your own hands. But God is the God of forgiving. He's a forgiving God. God is also the God of grace and mercy. He says His mercy is new every morning. So don't feel condemned. I'm not here to make you feel condemned. I'm just trying to tell you the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts, but also the truth can set you free. The second point, some of the mess you could have avoided if you just went to God first. This reminds me of a story, and I'm gonna bring my laptop so I could read it verbatim. I was reading Samuel not too long ago, and the reason why is because I know that there's a lot of things that David did in the book of Samuel that we all can relate to, but also learn from. And David was known as the man after God's own heart. And he was a man of valor. He was a warrior. He was going out to battle. He was doing his thing. He was being a king. This is the part before he was king, and he was like, oh, David kills his 10,000s. But little that everyone knows, or if you really kind of dive into the Bible, you can tell that the reason why David won those battles was because he got into the prayer first. He got God's permission before he even went into battle. He said, God, do I go attack these people? And God was like, yes or no. And if he said yes, then he won. So really, it was God winning. But he used David as the vessel, as the instrument, as the person who would go to him first. That's why David, you could see God's glory through David, because he kept on asking God's permission. And we need to ask for God's permission first before we do things on our own. I'm smelling this chicken. I think I need to turn it. All right. Turning the chicken. Yes. Put that there. Put this back. So, David, getting God's permission. I'm going to read a story. It is in 1 Samuel 23, verses 1 through 5. One day, news came to David that the Philistines were at Keilah, stealing grain from the threshing floors. David asked the Lord, should I go and attack them? Yes, go and save Keilah, the Lord told him. But David's men said, we're afraid even here in Judah. We certainly don't know what to go. We surely don't want to go to Keilah to fight the whole Philistine army. So David asked the Lord again, and again the Lord replied, go down to Keilah, for I will help you conquer the Philistines. So David and his men went to Keilah. They slaughtered the Philistines and took all their livestock and rescued the people from Keilah. He asked permission. And just like it's those men of David, how they were afraid, it says, but David's men said, we are afraid even here in Judah. I was afraid to do this. I know I'm not killing anybody. I'm not killing no Philistines. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. But I was scared. But that's a signal to get God's permission. God, do you want me to do this? Do you want me to cook? Do you want me to preach? He's like, go ahead. I'm going to be with you. And whenever God is telling you to do something, you feel scared, remember, that's an indicator. That's a sign. Get into the word and ask God's permission. Am I supposed to be doing this? And then you'll feel God's peace. That's the end of the message, but that's not the end of the video. We also have some tacos to make. This chicken is cooking, so I'm going to pause, and I'm going to let this chicken cook. I'm going to heat up some tortillas, and I'll show you the finished product. All right, guys, look at that meat. Oh, look at this piece right here. Look at that juiciness. Wow. So all we have left is the tortillas, the chicken, and the onions and tomatoes. We're gonna put it all together. But I just want to say, all right, guys, thank you so much for just watching this video. I'll see you guys on the next one. I pray that may God bless every single one of you guys. And if I was a bit choppy, and that's just nerves, but hey, we'll get better each and every upload. Stick with me. Let's build this community. And I know you guys are foodies, and I know you guys love the Lord as well. So let's combine the both and see where the Lord takes us. We trust Him. And remember to let God take control. All right, guys. Peace.